Okay, after talking about scalar perturbations, we now talk about linear decomposition of vector perturbations. So, a three vector, that is three-dimensional Euclidean vector perturbation, is important. Why is it important? If we are interested in the growth of large scale structure, then we want to look at scalar perturbations. But why three vector is important? Three vector is important because we can extract a scalar field from it. So it is a scalar field which is at the moment of great interest to us because pressure and density fields in the energy momentum tensor, they are related to the scalar perturbations. So the scalar perturbation is very important. It is of the most it is one of it is perhaps the most important uh, component of the vector perturbation of the overall cosmological perturbations. And since we can extract a scalar component from a three vector, therefore vector perturbations are also important. So how we can extract scalar from vector? What we will do is that we will apply the Helmholtz decomposition. So when we apply Helmholtz decomposition, which you must have seen in electromagnetism, this decomposition will be used on a three vector to extract a longitudinal part and a transverse part. The longitudinal part gives us a scalar which is called the potential. This is just a recap of the Helmholtz decomposition which you have seen in electromagnetism. So if you don't remember it, then don't worry, because we'll cover all the required mathematics in this series. We'll talk about it next in the next video. But let's look at the overview. The overview is that we will be decomposing using the Helmholtz decomposition. So the Helmholtz decomposition will give us the potential, and the potential is the scalar component of the vector. So you will see that we will be able to extract a scalar which we call potential by using the Helmholtz decomposition. And that potential and the remaining vector part, which is the longitudinal part, they both are independent. In the Fourier space, we will see that they do not decouple, and that's why this decomposition helps when we are looking in the Fourier space. Then these two parts do not couple to each other. That's why you can look at them independently. So then after extracting a scalar part using the Helmholtz decomposition, we will then apply the Fourier decomposition. So this is the high level game plan. Then what do we do? So we will apply the Fourier decomposition. Then we will apply Fourier decomposition to the scalar potential. The transverse part. So the transverse part is the remaining part. So we get the longitudinal part. Longitudinal part gives us scalar, and the remaining transverse part. So that is the pure vector part. So you are decomposing vector into two components, longitudinal and transverse. Longitudinal gives you scalar. Transverse is the pure vector part. You cannot extract any further scalar from it. So what we do is the transverse part is of no use to us. So just go through this text, some justification of why we don't need transverse part. So the rotational velocity of the fluid is related to the transverse part of the vector perturbations, but the rotational velocity decays as the universe expands. So the transverse part of the vector is of no cosmological interest. So we will forget this part. So you can learn more about this from the textbook Galaxy Formation by Longueur. So there is one section devoted to this topic about the rotational velocity. And the rotational velocity, as the universe expands, it decays, and so it is related to the transverse part of vector perturbation, but it decays, doesn't impact the large scale structure formation. So we'll forget it. We will focus on the scalar perturbations. Number one, pure scalar perturbations, then the scalar perturbations that we derive from vector perturbations. And after extracting the scalar part, which is the potential, we will we will discard the vector part, pure vector part. So that is the contribution of vector perturbations to the large scale structure formation.